2019. This is my first live stream in a kind of a new setup that I've got going on. I've got the laptop computer in front of me, got the some new webcams going on. I've kind of got a new display, so hopefully this stream is coming through as smoothly as I hope it is. I got David Guetta playing behind us, so we've got some really exciting stuff to go through here this evening, and I'm really excited to share it with you before we get into this guy, the one that is sitting on my workbench. So the nice thing with this little setup is that I can do different things like this. So here in front of me is the workbench, and on it we have the FT Goblin, so we're going to be getting into that in a little bit here. Really looking forward to this build. I saw Andres had plugged in just a second ago, so Andres, thank you for the design of this. Looking forward to getting into it. I think the second design that he released with FT originally. Anyway, before we get into the build itself, so I'm actually gonna take this away just for a hot second here because we're not gonna dive into that right away. I've got some other things to talk about real quick before we dive into this build. So Ben Harbour and Joshua Finn have been working really intensely on this build. And it's not just any build, it's the build of speed planes. Specifically, they are working with the FT Radial series motors, which I'm realizing here that there we go, the background music was a little loud, so I apologize if it was a little loud for you guys. So yeah, really excited. They're building two planes based on the radial motors, the 2207, I think they're working with the 2400 kV variants, but they're working on speed planes, which is super exciting, and I actually have them sitting right here on my workbench. So here they are. Joshua Finn was very kind to go ahead and get these cut for me, so I actually have them sitting in front of me as laser cut kits, which is super exciting. So here, I'm just going to go ahead and switch over to the build desk real quick. As you guys can see, this is Ben Harbour's plane right here. So there are some actual changes to this one, so I'm not going to be jumping into this one right away. We may build it out as it is. There's some 3D printed motor mounts that kind of go along with this, so we're going to work on this, except we're just not going to do it right away. We're going to hold off until we get the final plans out from Ben. The one that I really want to talk about tonight is Joshua Finn's entry into the Flite Fest 2019 Speed Challenge, which is a plane that I named because, well, I was inspired, let's just say that. Anyway, this is the Speed Demon right here. So as you can see, I've got several pieces. He's provided absolutely everything necessary to do this build, which I'm really looking forward to. So we'll probably do another build sometime next week. So I'm thinking next Saturday is when we'll probably do this build. But the Speed Demon, this is the wing. We've got the fuselage. We've got the tail feathers right here. Spar. He's also been kind enough, I think I left the spar over here, to include a beautiful carbon fiber spar along with that. So we've got all the pieces that we need to really make this airplane function as well as fly beautifully. I've seen the video that he posted, so we're going to build it out in very similar spec to the way he did, using this power system that I have sitting right here as well. So this is the Turnigy 2826 2200 kV. So we'll run at 4S with a 40 amp ESC. That should be plenty of power for this little project, but this is kind of the recommended power setup. And he says that in order to keep the wing loading at a decent amount, to go ahead and keep the battery that you run at a 3S 2200. So look out for the Demon. It's by J&H Aerospace. He's going to be releasing that as a kit here very soon as well, so that's super exciting. So yeah, so that's the power setup for the Speed Demon. Just wanted to kind of show you guys what that was all about. Now, we haven't really got anything formal organized for the FT, the Flight Fest Speed Challenge, but what we're thinking of doing is we'll have obviously the speed gun, we'll have these airplanes out there. And what the intention is, we're going to go ahead and pitch them head-to-head in a full-on speed challenge. So we'll have the radar gun out, and we'll be measuring both of these airplanes from one side to another. So it's going to be speed in a straightaway that we're going to be measuring with these two airplanes. So look for the build video coming on that soon. And if you guys are looking for more information on that, I am probably going to place this video on YouTube. We'll go ahead and place all the notes in the description for this video as well. So let's go ahead and get into the main part of this evening, which is going to be the live build along of the FT Goblin. Now, I don't know how many of you have actually ordered FT kits before. The FT Goblin kit is one of the kits considered to be a mighty mini kit. So it has all of the pieces enclosed. Interestingly enough, even though it is a mighty mini kit, it does come with a full-size firewall and full-size control horn, so that is pretty interesting. So what we're going to do is we're going to crack this bad boy open live so you can see all the pieces, and then we're going to start. I've got my glue gun warming up over here, and a nice glass of LaCroix, because I'm on the keto diet, so nothing potent, unfortunately, for me. But we're just going to go ahead and start getting building. Again, if you guys want to leave any comments or anything, my stream is approximately 2 to 3 seconds delayed from you guys, so I may not catch it immediately. So I'll pick up from time to time, but I'm going to go ahead and switch it over to the build bench. So here we go. This is the build bench. Go ahead and ask any questions, but I'm going to go ahead and open this live here for you guys so you can see what all is inside. And let me know if the background music is too loud or not loud enough. I will be happy to change that. So all the FT kits come wrapped in this plastic cellophane. Always another thing, when you're building FT kits, my big recommendation is one, to have the FT build video pulled up, which I do have, sitting next to my Spotify right here. So I don't have it populated here on the broadcast. For some reason, I was having some issues with it, but just kind of wanted to have it as reference because I'm going to kind of walk through the build live as we go through. So a couple of things to note that it comes with. It comes with all of the equipment that you need in terms of build supplies. So it comes with the piano wire, it comes with the barbecue skewers, it comes with the power pod, power firewall, as well as the control horns. Also included is this little card that describes everything that is about this airplane. So all the specs, you get a little pilot bio as well, and all of the information about the airplane on here. So that's nice and neat. And of course, you need some decorating. So of course, comes with nice stickers, and my laptop is well kitted out with all of these stickers that come in with these kits. The other thing that comes with the FT Goblin is this little buddy right here. This is the FT Elements kit for this airplane. So it, again, contains all the things that you need to make it FPV. We're going to run a little RunCam Micro on this. This is the Micro Swift. So this is what a lot of the racers are using. So there are holes established. As you can see, these little ones right here, these holes are established for a micro race cam, just like this one. That's kind of perfect. So we're going to go pop all these on the side of the workbench, and we will open these up. So this is a sheet and no, 2.5 sheets of foam board all in. So if you're scratch building at home, you know what you're getting into. Each of the kits has a stamp on it of who it was who assembled it and put it together, which is really lovely. So you get to know a little bit of behind the scenes of who is doing the laser cutting as well. Popping parts out is super easy. Don't need any knives or anything, you just pop the stuff out right here. Of course, sometimes you get these labels from atoms left behind. It's really easy just to peel those off. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of work through plucking all of this out of the foam board. Shouldn't take more than a minute or two to pluck everything out. And again, while you are doing this, what you want to be careful of is any sensitive areas like corners. Sorry for, I just checked the level on the microphone and it seemed that the shredding of foam board was definitely hitting the microphone, so I apologize if that was a little loud. So that is everything in there. Now I have a little garbage bag sitting next to me over here, so I get to fold this up and place this neatly in the garbage so that it is out of my way, because a cluttered build bench is a bad build bench. Now, I don't usually take my own advice, but again, take everything I say with a grain of salt. So something you'll probably have noticed is that there are two parts in this kit that look identical. However, when you lay these against each other, there are some very subtle differences between these two pieces. In fact, this is the two nose cones, so I think it comes with two noses? I did not know that. There is two pieces of this nose that are identical. Interesting. Clearly I didn't watch the build video before doing this. So we're just plucking all the parts out at the moment. Once again, thanks to everyone who's joining us. Just like to do a once over on the parts just to double check that there's nothing left behind inside the foam core. So that's now away. So now I have a wing, the fuse components, the spar, and one of the tails. And in this section, we have the doublers, the other wing panel, the internal structure for the front of the fuselage, and then the internal rear part of the fuselage as well. And with that being said, you really do have a wide variety of different things that you can power this airplane with. Anything from, again, the same size motor that I showed you guys earlier, the 2826 size power plants from Hobby King. But you can also run what I'm going to run, which is an old race motor. So this is a 2205 2500 kV running a 5x5x3. So again, plenty of power on 4S. This will clip real nice. Again, the smaller, less amp hungry motors that are better for extended flight times than this. Go ahead and give the video a thumbs up if you're enjoying the quality of the stream. Again, feel free to ask questions along the way. I am here for you guys tonight. So, just getting the doublers out of this panel now. So again, being very careful because there are some score cuts on the inside of those. Sorry that I'm not doing it in front of the camera, it's just that the foam core is longer than this table is in the piece of foam. A little hard to capture it all in one shot. Another doubler here. Oh, that's separated. Again, just be careful of those score cuts. Deck and the wings on the far side. I'm sure you can see in the other camera in the top corner, which is right over there. Hi guys, I'm in the shot too. And most of you who are on here are probably thinking, well, who is this baby Brett guy? Well, I used to be on a podcast. And that was the FT Community Podcast. We used to run it every Sunday, live on YouTube with a studio audience. We used to do things like this, come online, chit-chat, and talk about airplanes and multi-rotors and all kinds of different things, and FPV and events, all kinds of goodies. Alright, so let's kind of go through what parts we have sitting in front of us, what we're looking at. Okay, wing. Also, a good thing with builds like this is you want to kind of set things to the side when you're not working on them. Kind of separate your workspace a little bit. So the FT Goblin is a really unique airplane. It's a single engine, single motor airplane. It's a pusher, so it means that the power plant is in the rear of the aircraft pushing the aircraft. Now the difference between a pusher and a tractor, easy way to tell, is where is the motor? Is it ahead of the wing or is it behind the wing? If it's ahead of the wing, it's a tractor. If it's behind the wing, it's a pusher. Also, another way to determine whether it's a tractor or a pusher is what way the motor is facing. In this configuration on the Goblin, the motor is attached to the rear of the aircraft with a firewall, and the propeller actually spins on the back end of it. In this setup, I've actually got it in a reverse configuration, so the motor direction will be spinning counterclockwise, which is a counter-rotating prop. Set up on a multi-rotor motor like this, it's just totally fine. These motors are used to spinning 5-inch blades with 4S, and you're looking at maybe 25 to 30 amps all in, so they're not going to be super power hungry, which is really nice. Some of the newer race quad motors can be a little power hungry, so just watch your power setups. I'm going to run a 25 amp Hobby King ESC. This one is one of my older ones. It definitely has seen better days, but it still functions great, and this will be the perfect ESC for this. In terms of FPV, I think I've already mentioned the Micro Swift. I'm going to run that with a an FPV transmitter that I haven't actually figured out yet. So in the meantime, I'll just show you the antenna that we're planning on running. These are the good old-fashioned lollipop antennas, the Axie V2 from Lumineer. So these are really phenomenal propellers. Sorry, not propellers, antennas. Really, really good, solid FPV antenna. I can see Ryan Papp and David Raymond have joined us. Thank you guys for joining. Welcome to the live stream. Alright, so let's just flip through these components here real quick. We've got 2 tail feathers right there. There we go, tail feathers. This is the rear fuselage right here. Again, all of the fold notations are right on the foam board if you are using one of the flight test kits, if you are scratch building. Real good tip is to, on the side that you're tracing your plans on, just go ahead and with a pen or a marker, mark up the plans that you're using. Another fun tip that friend Patrick and I figured out is on the waterproof foam board, you can actually use glue stick to adhere the plans directly to this foam board, and it will peel right off once it's dry. So really, really great tip when it comes to getting plans off this water resistant foam board. Wouldn't necessarily do it with the white stuff that you buy at the Dollar Tree, but you can definitely do it on the waterproof stuff. And we're looking at a spar right here. We've got 2 of those, 1 for each of the 2 wings. And then these right here are the replaceable noses for the Goblin. So the kit actually provides 2 of these, as well as 2 sets of doublers for each of these. So again, you'll definitely have longevity with this particular airplane. And then last but by no means least, this is the rear of the fuselage deck. And then the 2 wing panels. So this is actually where we're going to go ahead and get started this evening, is on these 2 wing panels. In the meantime, I'm just going to move some of these things out of my build area. Two things you want to keep nearby are the spars, but we'll go ahead and keep them over by the keyboard area. This is what the wing panels look like. I'm just going to go ahead and clear some of this other stuff here out of the way. Keep as much build area as you can here. Again, nothing special when it comes to glue guns. Just good old-fashioned AdTech 2-temp glue gun. I've had this thing for 4 years already, and it's been working like a racehorse. These are my glue sticks, just standard AdTech glue sticks. These are the opaque ones, which work really well. Again, you can pick up these things from Amazon really inexpensively as well. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and start working one wing at a time. So a couple of things to bear in mind when we're first looking at the wings. So something that's very common with flight test designs is that the central area right here separates the 2 wings. This is the lower and the upper portion. Right here is indicative of something called a C-fold. I don't even have to watch the video to know that this is a C-fold right here. Usually that's where you will remove the foam board from this section right over here from top to bottom. And then this is where your double bevel will be, and then your aileron sits right at the back of the wing. Now in this case, these are actually elevons because it is a elevator-less airplane. Alright, so let's go ahead and get the knife out. The knife I'm using is just the Cobalt, I think it's ceramic knife with the interchangeable blades. Fresh blade, just put on this, so we are ready to go. Good tip on the knives as well is when you are going through the foam board, again, you can blunt the tip of these knives if you really want to. My advice, of course, is not to, because there are some instances where having a sharp blade is very useful. So what I like to do, especially with a knife like this, where you have an edge, just rest the edge on the top of the foam board, just like this, and cleanly cut through. If you need to do a couple of passes, then go ahead and take the time to do it. Up to 8 people following along live, so thank you guys so much for joining. I hope the quality is as good as it looks on my end. Again, different techniques for separating the center piece of foam here. What I like to do is bend it all the way over like this and make sure that the foam is completely separated from both sides, kind of giving it a little bit of a pinch and a press on the corners here. That's what will separate the foam. Sometimes you can see, I'll kind of show you an example right here where the foam hasn't quite fully separated away from the paper. What you can do is just draw the knife a little bit close to the paper. If you do end up breaching that paper barrier, the best thing to do is just take a piece of Scotch tape. See, and right there, no breakage at all. We've gone ahead and separated that fully. Give it a bit of a pinch and a pull, and there it goes. It starts to separate away just like that. Now, if it doesn't break away cleanly like it's doing with me, very easy to take a blade back to that and clean some of those pieces away. Again, like a magician, I have a garbage bag sitting next to me. Do your wives and your significant others a favor and make sure you keep the workspace clean as you go. Alright, so C-fold is just like this, where the top piece here will come over the top and press against the bottom edge right here. Glue can be applied on the inside seam as well as right along the top. Again, you don't have to go crazy with the amount of glue here. Only the smallest amount of glue is needed. Again, light pressure. So our creator of all things foam board, Josh Bexler, likes to sing "You Are My Sunshine" in his head as he's waiting for this to dry. I am musically inclined, but I'm not musically inclined enough to torture you this evening, so I'm not going to do that. Something else that you can do is feel the temperature of the glue underneath the piece that you're holding. So I'm going ahead and holding the piece right here, and once I feel that it gets cool enough, I'll go ahead and let go. And again, thank you guys so much for joining us this evening. This is the first of many of the live streams I plan to do pre-Flite Fest 2019, so I hope you guys can join along. If you can see right there, I'm still getting used to this mirror thing. Right here is my Instagram handle. You're more than welcome to follow me along there. I'm also very active here in FT fans page, so if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to reach out to me through Facebook fan page or also direct message. Alright, so we're all done there. That looks like a good C-fold. Now, the next thing is the double bevel. Now, this is probably people's least favorite thing to do, is the double bevel on this wing panel here, but there is a really, really easy way to do it. Take your knife and you bring it in at an angle, and again, this is one of those blades that has a nice edge to it. So I bring the edge real close, keeping an eye on it, and again, at a very, very acute angle, draw the blade through, making sure that I don't pierce the paper on the middle side. And if I've done this correctly, which I think I have, again, you'll see a little bit of creasing that occurs from where I've had the knife resting along, but it actually gives you a pretty fantastic bevel on that side. That's one, we'll do the other side. And here, when you get to the very end, what I like to do is just come up at a small angle, and hey presto. And just like that. So next thing is going to be where the spars are. Now, you will notice that there are two slightly different spars. They are mirrors of each other. The reason being is the servo placement. If you notice right here, the servo is going to sit right here in this area. It's actually going to sit with the wings of the servo right in here. I'm fairly certain that's sized for a 5-gram servo, but I could be wrong. We're going to experiment. I have 5 and I have 9 grams when we get to that part. Not going to worry about it right now. Okay, so do the spars real quick since we've taken care of that wing panel. Again, I don't recommend breaking ailerons away just yet. As we can see, they have already given us a nice clean channel for the ailerons to move freely, so we don't have to separate that. But keep the foam adhered right here on the side. When you're folding the wing, it will make it significantly easier to fold it. But also, on top of that, it will make it the correct airfoil shape that it needs to be. So again, C-folds. These are indicative, again, of space, equal space, which is 2 pieces of foam board thick on either side. And again, because these are structural, we use a little bit more glue than we normally would here, but not excessive. None of the gluing that you need to do for these airplanes is particularly excessive. And again, just drawing the knife through carefully, not creating any cuts through the foam board itself. Again, just giving it a light press like this. And if anyone's wondering, the music behind us this evening is David Cutter music, courtesy of Spotify. Ah, interesting. Never seen that happen before. Sometimes you'll get a little bit of foam left behind, but in this instance I just had the paper pull up a little bit from the layer below. It's totally fine. The fold will hide that, and it's going to be inside the wing, so no one will see it anyway. Okay, we're going to do the same to this side. Again, give it a nice, easy press. Press like this. Separate that foam. Just give yourself a little bit of an edge on either side. And as you push over, it comes off clean. Sorry, I realize I'm doing this not in the view of the camera, guys. Let's take a quick... Sorry. Beta build responsibilities. Trying to get the Cessna ready for you guys. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and create the C-folds right here. Again, a little bit of foam just on the edge here. Nothing excessive. And again, just a little bit of foam on this side. Just like this. Now, for ease sake, I'll go ahead and do this one at a time. Not necessary to do both at the same time. So as I said, I am one of the members of the Basic Builder team. Myself and Ben Greenwald actually were founding members of the Basic Build team with the FT Arrow all the way back when. So we've been doing this for about 3 years now, which is crazy to think about. And we review all the plans for you guys before they're released. And currently we're working on the Cessna that Ben designed. So I got to see that a little bit before FT did, which is amazing. And design is phenomenal, so you guys are going to absolutely love that when it comes out. Alright, next one. Again, doesn't matter if you apply glue here or over here. It's easier if you apply it over here. And again, press and hold for as long as necessary. And again, that is your spar right there. Again, the way we'll be able to tell which one is for which side is whether it lines up with the servo hole. So this one here is with this wing, and then this one here is going to be the other wing. Again, just work through each of the steps. You're in no rush. And again, big thank you to everyone who's joining us as we follow along. Again, try and keep your workbench as clean as humanly possible. Makes it a heck of a lot easier. Okay, break those C-folds apart just like this. And separate the foam. So, who is attending Flite Fest 2019, huh? Let's hear and see all the people who are attending Flite Fest, eh? First timers, been to Flite Fest before. This will be my third time attending the event. 2018 unfortunately didn't happen for me because we moved from Florida, so I am no longer in Florida. All of those who are closest to me in this group know that Florida was just hotter than Hades and just not very fun to live there. I picked up the family and moved everyone out to the Washington, D.C. area. Try and navigate glue guns around microphone booms. Sorry, camera fell out of focus there for a hot second. Hello. There it goes. Oh, good. Chad South, you'll be there. I bloody well hope to see you there, mate. It's been way too long. Any crazy projects this year, buddy? Sorry, there's a little bit of a lag between the stream that I see and the responses that I see from you guys. It's not bad right now, actually. Only a couple of seconds. Again, you don't need copious amounts of glue on these spars. They're only serving one purpose, and that's support inside of the wing just to maintain the shape. The actual strength from the wing itself actually comes from the shape of the airfoil and the way it's built. It actually doesn't come from the spars at all. There have been many a plane design that have utilized a single sheet of foam, like Josh Finn's plane, the Demon here. And that uses a foam core spar. We've actually just had to reinforce that with carbon fiber. So I have a carbon fiber tube we're going to use as wing support here. Oh, so you're a month away and you still don't know what you're doing for it, Chad? That's great to hear. Isn't it great to hear my voice back on the airwaves again? I feel like it's been a little bit too long of a vacation. I think I stopped the community cast back in May of last year, 2018. We moved a little faster than we anticipated. We ended up moving in July and sorry, I moved up in August. We moved the family up in September. All right, so so as you can see, this is how we know that the spars go to each of the two wings in a certain way. So see how this one fits perfectly? So try and fit it here. This angle here at the back, it's hard to see on the camera. this angle right here is off by quite a ways. So let's see if I can demonstrate that for you. So even though it looks right, that angle right there actually makes it incorrect. So just be careful when you're gluing spars together. The same applies for all of the other spars in all the other FT designs. Has anyone built the Goblin before? Is this the first time anyone's seen this kit in full form like this? I'm very curious. Seeing if there's anything else in here before we start getting this airfoil shape going. Alright, I think I'm going to go ahead and get started on this other wing because I think, if my memory serves me correctly, we're going to following along the build video here at the same time for quick reference. Okay, so just looking at the build video here as I'm separating out the C-fold here in the back of the wing, it looks like Andres, once the C-fold is complete, actually does the double bevel and then also separates the aileron. Now, personally speaking, I advise against that. The reason being is you want as much strength derived in the wing as you're folding it as you possibly can. So my advice is actually to keep the aileron in and cut the aileron away after you've folded the wing together. That goes for all the FT designs actually. I was separating the rest of the cut here. Okay. Yeah, a little bit of glue along the back edge here, not a ton necessary because again it's just support. As with all of the gluing techniques here with FT planes, strength is derived from the smallest amount of glue over the widest area. Again, if you get hot glue on your table surface or anything like that, it's very easy just to roll it into a ball and pluck that right off. So for those of you who aren't following, I'm also working on an EDF project for Flight Fest, trying to get it out by July. I'm working on an EDF of the BEA Hawk, which is the British aerospace jet that is also used by the famous Red Arrows. I think they're used in a couple of different air forces actually around the world, but the Red Arrow BEA Hawk is the one that I am replicating. There we go, and did I break? No, wow, I was trying to sort of intentionally break that paper on the other side of that double bevel just to show you guys how to repair those. Again, unlike Andres, I'm keeping the aileron in its configuration the way it is attached to the foam core. A couple of different reasons why I like to do that. It keeps the integrity of the wing, and it also helps keep the airfoil in the intended shape. Just gives you a little bit more room to maneuver. Sorry if I sound like I'm talking to the beat, it's because I kind of am, but at the same time I'm trying to concentrate, and talking and concentrating at the same time is hard for me. Male personality here, can't multitask. My wife will vouch for that one. These are the two wing panels that we have here, and trying to squeeze them into the area that you can see on my workbench. That way. There we go. We got the keyboard over here on the far side, so I'll adjust the camera here once we're done. So these are the foam spars. It's that way around, and this way around like this. And the way that we'll do this here is we're actually going to go ahead and remove the hole for the servo before we go ahead and mount the spar in. Makes it easier when we come to mount everything into the wing. So remove these. Now keep these things around. They come in super handy as squeegees and other useful tools with hot glue later on in the build process. So I personally go ahead and keep as many of those around as you can. They come in incredibly handy. Skip through. Skip there. Okay. So in Andres' version of the build, he goes ahead and installs the servo into the wing after the installation of the spar. I could do that. I could be lazy. I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. We'll see. Probably will. And take a minute intermission here in just a moment as well. But we'll glue the spar onto the wing. Again, you be very sparing with the amount of glue that you put onto these foam core airplanes. Weight isn't your friend, especially in the smaller models, and a little bit of glue goes a long way when you spread it all out. So again, keep it nice and thin. Had quite a number of years of practice at doing this. Again, being on the base building team means I've built a lot of the flight test airplanes at this point. And again, what I am doing, as you can see here, is actually putting it a little further behind where I intended on gluing and pushing it into place. Now doing that actually increases the amount of surface area that the glue is adhering to, and it makes the piece incredibly strong. Again, wait for it to fully dry and cure. You can check on the underside of the servo just to see if the glue is fully dried on that side, which it is. So, and then the wing will actually come together just like this. Again, you don't have to rush things like this. I'm just doing this as a demonstration. You ease the wing down just like this, and this is the reason why I kept the aileron loose the way I did. If you take a look, it gives me the ability to really kind of press on the wing and not, put extra stress on that aileron. And since we are able to access it, yeah, we have access to the area here. So yeah, place for the wire. Okay, yeah, so I can see why we need to go ahead and install the servo. So alright, so at this moment, I'm going to go ahead and take a brief break, but we will be right back. So if you guys would like, I'm going to go ahead and take a quick break. I'll see you in just a couple of minutes. Alright guys, well thank you so much for your patience there for a hot second. I needed to grab some things which I didn't account for, because that's why you watch the build video before you go live. So we're gonna go ahead and install the servos here. So these are 9 grams, as it turns out. 9 gram servos are what fits into this particular airplane. That is not quite the right angle that I had on the workbench. There we go, that's better. So, beautiful. So I'm going to go ahead and get the workbench cam back on for us. And let's go ahead and get these servos here installed now. These are pre-centered, pre-installed servo arms, so I know that they are correct. These previously flew in, if I remember right, I think these were in my Bushwhacker, which was quite a while ago. So again, with these, slide the wire underneath, capture it underneath the spar here, just like that. So that's how it comes out from underneath the spar on that side. The way these servos mount is they kind of shim into the corners here and then press down just like this. And they mount into the top of the wing just like that. Now, I did have Josh Finn message me just a minute ago asking why I'm working on the Goblin, not his airplane. I will work on the the Demon, but needed to get the Goblin started. I've had this sitting for a little bit longer than the Demon, unfortunately. So I need to maiden both of them eventually, so it's just a question of when. Again, plug the servo out. Again, we can see there's some indentations. Again, don't need to go crazy town on glue. Nice thing is that we have a nice mounting surface on the back of the servo here, and you can add a little bit to the arms of the servo on that side. And using the wire to pull, you can re-shim the servo without touching the hot glue, and then press and hold. Again, 9 grams fit really beautifully in this, but if you had to, you could use these little 5 gram servos. Not necessarily the most recommended, but you could get away with the 5 gram servos if you so desired. Yeah, so that's what the 5 grams look like, just like that. Again, a clean workbench is a good workbench. So what you can do to make it easy is, if you want to, you can put a little piece of tape right here on the wire. Keeps the wire out the way. These servo extensions are totally unnecessary for this build. Small airplane, don't need the receiver to be planted way at the front of the airplane. There's plenty of throw. And with the wire sticking out the front here, we're ready to go ahead and form that wing. So with the bottom surface of the wing down and the wire clear on this side, we're going to slowly flex that wing into shape, bending it around the contour of the spar, pressing and holding, making sure that the folds follow all the way along here. Just like that. Alright, so we're ready to go ahead and glue now. Again, we want to apply glue strategically in a couple of key places. So spar, double bevel, and the C-fold on the back edge. Again, areas you really want to apply glue lightly in this area, but generously over the spar. The spar is really where that adhesion, that bond is going to be. So we're going to go ahead and do this area first. And make sure you have plenty of glue in the glue gun for this. working as quickly as your glue gun will allow you to. And again, it takes a practiced hand to get the application just right, but I promise you, if this is a first time build or a first time follow along, you've never seen one of these planes come together, it comes with practice, it comes in time. A couple of areas that I'm focusing on as I'm holding the back of the wing, as you can see, my hands are really widely spread out. That's key to this, is you want even pressure throughout the whole surface of the wing, otherwise you're going to have a warped wing and a badly flying airplane. Remember, the smaller ones tend to be more fiddly in the air if you add any kind of warp to them in any way. So ensuring that you have even pressure across both surfaces makes sure that you have a nice smooth wing and it's equal on both sides. Again, also focusing pressure on the rear trailing edge as well as the leading edge. Also, I'm checking for temperature as I'm kind of putting my hands over the wing itself as well, just to make sure that I have plenty of glue spread out and also that it's cooling as well. I don't want to rush to take my hands off of it if I know that the wing is going to just go and spring back open. And there you go. So, highly unnecessary, so you don't have to do this. But you can if you want to for some reinforcing, as you can go ahead and add a very thin bead of glue on the rear of that C-fold. Again, I'm not going to do it, it's not necessary on this particular model, but you can do it as a strength reinforcement. Again, the wing doesn't weigh very much at all. Again, it is using a 9-gram servo, so that's kind of hilarious for a wing that is this small. Looks very good. Checking over the wing surface, making sure that all the glue is held down, and then also just holding it to your eye, just double checking that all of those pieces look like there's plenty of glue and that that's adhering well. You can see the sight line all the way down the central core of the wing there as well. That helps just to visualize to make sure that everything is good. That wing is officially done. We can move this to the side, and yes, I know I did not do the aileron cut on that one, I am aware. So it looks like we've had a few more people join us, so thank you for joining us. If anyone here has built the FT Goblin, I'm curious if any of you have followed the same kind of steps that I've been following as we've been going. Again, the spar is going to receive glue now. Just like before, being a little bit sparing with the amount of glue that we're using on the spar, because it derives its strength from there. Perfect. Just double checking the alignment as we press down on the spar evenly on both sides. Again, things that we're checking for in the direction, so the fold front goes toward the leading edge of the wing. A couple of things you could do if you're interested in strengthening the wing of this airplane. You could run a popsicle stick or a couple of the barbecue skewers through the spar on either side. That would provide additional strength to the back side. Again, that's going to help you in high G maneuvers, but the wings are so small, and because of the way that the glue joint, the butt joint will happen as we form this wing together, it's not inherently necessary. Again, so we're going to go ahead and glue the servo in now before we go ahead and fold the wing over. Again, just using these 9-gram Emax servos. They're pre-centered and pre-installed the servo arms. So before we put the glue gun to it, feed the wire out to the front of the wing. That is the wrong way around, isn't it? driver to this. Luckily this is already pre-centered, so just reapply it on the other side. And if anyone is wondering why that music sounds oh so familiar, it is the David Cutter music that was used in the FT vlogs for a very long time. And as you can see, I'm using the wire here in the back to pull the servo into that gap and create that opening. Fits these 9-gram servos almost perfectly. Kind of missed that hole, but it's not a huge deal. Again, you're using the servo to kind of crack those open anyway. The strength of this is derived from the spar on the underside anyway. I'm going to go ahead and hear this servo now. A little bit of glue, a little bit of glue on each of the 2 arms. Go ahead and use the wire again. As Josh would say, using things as our friends. Alright, looks good. We're ready to go ahead and fold this wing. Again, we're going to be bringing the top surface of this wing right here over to the bottom plate. So holding the bottom plate stable. Again, just easing this over. Don't force this process. Let it kind of happen on its own. Go. You get nice even pressure across the whole wing surface. That's what will give you that nice fold. And again, I'm just holding this here just to give strength to that central portion. Okay, again, following like we did before, the areas that are going to receive the glue is going to be the spar, the double bevel, and the trailing edge. And again, most of the glue attention is going to be to the spar and sparing on the other 2 pieces. Here we go. Again, you want to work fairly quickly, but the glue will definitely take some time to dry. If you're like me and you're running low, you still have plenty of time to grab a new glue stick as we finish that. And bring the wing over, making sure that the wire is nice and clear. And fold. And hold. Again, widespread hands. And just hold it here until it is fully dry. Again, I'm not going to torture you guys with singing songs, but you kind of get the idea. Alright. Just double checking the rest of this. Feels good. Still feels a little bit warm to the touch on the second fold here as it leads up to the spar surface, so we're just going to hold it for a little bit longer. And once we're happy with that, take your hands off and you should be able to see your wing is complete. And just like we did before, visually inspect straight down the sight line of where the spar is, making sure that there's plenty of glue distributed down that central core there, all the way down to that trailing edge. Again, not abundantly necessary in this model, but again, you can also add a little bit of glue on the back edge there if you want. Again, not 100% necessary. So we're going to bring these two wings back into frame here. And what we'll do is we will bring them, I have brought them to the wrong side, but matters not if you are like me and you prefer to have the wires this side and on the front side of the wing as opposed to the back where the cut is. But just actually go ahead and create a little box where the wires will protrude on the leading edge here. Again, another demonstration of if you are scratch building that you don't necessarily need to have precision laser cut parts for the easy bits like this. But again, what you want to do is kind of stuff the wire back down that channel, and with a little bit of tape, just tape it right here like that. I'm going to tape it just for a second so I can do the same to the other side. Again, just showing you guys what I'm doing from a different angle this time. So right here is where I had the wire because I prefer the wire on the leading edge of the wing as opposed to the trailing edge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and make a small incision right here, and create a channel. And again, if you're scratch building, that is going to be the best way to do so. Again, stuff the wire back down into that channel, and if you have a piece of tape handy, just go ahead and stick it there. Again, I have some pliers, so I can go ahead and pluck that out if I need to. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and mount the two wings next to each other. Pretty close, not far off. I've seen a lot worse than that. So the wings are pretty similar in shape. Again, that has a lot to do with how you do the bevels and the edges that lead up to the fold over on that wing. Again, you want to definitely keep some of those pieces of foam around and handy as we come to form the wing together. Okay, just like that. Packing tapes in this. See, I don't like having a lot of cluster on the workspace because if I have a drawer I can put it in, I'll just go ahead and put it in the drawer and then we can pull it back out. So again, folding wings together is a very easy practice. Okay, we're a little off there, but that's totally fine. Just what I was paying attention to there was the placement of the holes. So that's totally fine. Just look at this real quick. So he does the bottom first, I'm assuming. Yeah. So Andres tapes the bottom of the wings together first and then glues the top half together over the top. So that's exactly what we'll do as well. What I am going to do real quick is just take a little piece of packing tape here and split that in half and fold that, attach that to the servo lead here, and just leave that in a place where we can get access to it later on. There we go. Oops. Just get a little fiddly as we do this. That's fine. And this is a little fiddly. I apologize for very bad broadcasting here. Just basically stuffing the wires in and creating a place where I can pull the wires out from after. There we go, just like that. And do the same on this side. A little bit of tape. Keep some tape around. It might be useful and handy later on as we go further into the build process here. I'm going to stuff that back in there. And just kind of keep the wires in a situation where we can just pull at them later on. Let's kind of protect them as they are right now. Okay, so it's totally fine. What we'd like to do is kind of line up each of the positions along here. Okay, so here's what I like to do with wing assemblies, especially flat bottom airfoils that we're gonna go ahead and do here, is I'll take a wing like this. I'll go ahead and place it flat to the build table. Go ahead and place a small piece of tape on that leading edge. And do the same, put a small piece of tape here on the trailing edge. And then what I'll do is with the two pieces of tape facing open like that, I'll align the leading edge of the wing, bringing it down flat like this, and adjusting as necessary, making sure that the wings mount together just like this. And it gives us the ability to crack that bottom surface open. Now we can apply a piece of tape all the way down. Again, this wing, a lot of this wing derives its strength directly from the application of this tape and then the glue as well. You get into a situation like this where tape starts to separate across that bevel. You can go ahead and cut that tape down, press it over. It's one of Piece's techniques right there. And right here, it's just like wrapping a gift, so we're going to go ahead and pierce the tape. And we're going to go ahead and pierce it down the middle as well, fold it up, and fold it up. And again, doesn't matter if this is a little ugly because this part will be covered when we glue the wing together, which we're about to do. As you can see, probably better on my other camera, so I'm going to go ahead and switch it. So as you can see right here, I've gone ahead and I've now got the wing into a shape where I can go ahead and fill it with glue. So again, folding the wing in half, looking straight down, looking at all the surfaces that are going to be bonded. Our focus on this is going to be the bottom surface and the top surface of the wing, and a little bit on the spar. So here we go. And again, making sure that we give plenty of glue to this and plenty of time for it to dry as well. A lot of the strength from this is actually going to be in the packing tape that we put over the top of it, not from the glue application that we just did. Again, we're going to sit here and we're going to sing in our heads You Are My Sunshine several times to allow that glue to fully set. Sorry, my dog is doing something very strange. I think so. Bruno, come here. Or are you good now? Going to investigate what was in the dog's mouth real quick while we allow this glue seam to dry. Come here. Come here. No, not over the couch, child. This way. This way. This way. Come. Allow me a moment, ladies and gentlemen. There we go, sorry about that. Had something in his mouth there that was not pleasant. Okay. And as we can see, that wing is now fully taped and fully glued all the way through. So we are now +1 on a wing. Now what we could do, if we wanted to, I'll demonstrate this. We could take our glue gun and we could drive a bead straight down the middle here like this. And taking a squeegee, run that squeegee straight down. And again, adding to the strength, that is going to create a surface tension across that surface there. And we're just going to wait for that to dry as I check my text messages here for a hot second. And our neighbors are being angels and dropping off strawberries to us, so... So, just letting them know that tomorrow is a better day. Since I'm live streaming. So that is now dry. You can, again, after a minute or so, you are fine to go ahead and tap it a couple of times like that. Now I do have this little piece of tape that's left over. I'm going to get rid of it though. Because again, we want a full piece of tape. We want to run that from the back of the edge of the wing here. I'm going to leave the tape attached to the roll here as we do this. So we're going to go ahead from the back of the wing, and we're going to bring the tape across the front to the leading edge and then back over. And nice tape application all the way down. And again, using the table as our friend here, I just kind of use the table to pluck that off. And there we go. That's it. We now have the wings of the FT Goblin pretty much done now. There we go. And there we have it. So I'm going to go ahead and switch to the other camera here real quick. And as you can see, that right there, guys, is the FT Goblin wing. It just about fits in frame here. Again, it's not that much smaller. Get to it. It's not that much bigger than the wing that Josh Finn cut for me for his plane. So really cool. It's a really lightweight wing. It just has those two 9-gram servos in there, so really, really strong. So that is the wing assembly done. Now, because I think we've been going for about an hour and a half now, I think what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and call it at this point. I really hope you guys have enjoyed it. I certainly have enjoyed being here with you guys, so thank you so much for joining us. The way I usually sign these things off is with blue skies, and I'll see you on the next one. So with that, guys, go ahead, follow me on the Instagram. It's right there, BabyBritFPV. You can also find me right here in the FT Fans group. If you have any questions or anything, us over here at the Beta Builders, as well as the Flight Test fans, thank you guys so much for joining, and we'll see you on the next one. Until then, blue skies, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you guys for joining. Good night.